Hundreds of evacuations, dozens of damaged homes, and a historic amount of rain.
I'm not sure if we're out of the woods quite yet.
More rain is headed for southwestern Colorado as towns prepare for more flooding. A Littleton mayoral candidate got caught on a doorbell camera breaking an election law. The homeowner wants the state to investigate. And the Halloween fun doesn't have to end once you grow out of trick-or-treating.
This is all in my parents' garage. It's pretty crazy.
We're pretty crazy too, tonight on Next. In a year full of drought, southwestern Colorado made up for it this weekend. Problem is, all that rain came at one time. At least 90 homes have been damaged in La Plata County outside of Durango. Some have up to 2 feet of water inside. Nearby in Pagosa Springs, the river rose out of its banks, flooding parts of downtown there. It was the biggest rainstorm in parts of the western slope since 1941. 6 inches of rain in some places. Angeline McCall shares the impact.
After more than 6 inches of rain in parts of southwest Colorado this weekend, it's still hard to know exactly how much damage there is.
This is absolutely unprecedented for us.
But in simple words, Sarah Jacobson with La Plata County will tell you this is the worst rain event the area has seen. 390 homes evacuated in La Plata County, 88 damaged, 2 a total loss, and already knocked down to avoid more damage.
So the creek doubled in size, and there was so much turbulence and so much water that it just simply ate away the bank that had been there for generations.
She's talking about Vicito Creek, the area hardest hit by rising water and a levee break. 12 people were rescued while evacuating.
We are so grateful that everybody's okay, that so many people listened to our evacuation requests and got out when we asked them to.
Grateful as well that no one was hurt. In nearby Pagosa Springs, drone video shows how parts of the town were underwater. The city manager expects damage totals in the millions to homes, businesses, and other areas hit by water.
We're hoping that with the disaster declaration that will help out both the town and the county, and will be able to help move, get us back to some level of normalcy.
Both communities are working to avoid any further damage and waiting for the rain to stop.
It's just such a community feel, and everybody's taking care of everybody, and we're just lucky to live in such a great community.
Both areas know they likely have some infrastructure issues to deal with. In Pagosa Springs, they need to assess a sewer pipe that's underneath a bridge because it's taken in 3 times as much water as it normally would during a rain event. And in La Plata County, crews have worked to reinforce a bridge off of County Road 501. They are also keeping an eye on a different bridge not all that far away that needs to be passable because it allows access to a fire department up there.
But when we talk about damage, and we know that there is, we don't know the full scope of it. I know they're flying around with helicopters in some places, but it's hard to figure out exactly how much has been damaged when you can't drive to all these places.
Yeah, a lot of these roads are still impassable. It's really not even a road right now. It's just a creek with water, right? And so crews have not gotten eyes on some of these homes. And so while we have a good estimate, I mean, for a lot of these homeowners, they don't really know, what their home looks like, what the extent of the damage is, and of course, what they'll find when they return.
You're just seeing videos like that and saying, ooh, that doesn't look good. Angeline McCall, thank you. So let's put some context to this. Chris Bianchi is the right guy to do that. Chris, 6 inches of rain in some places. That's a lot any way you look at it.
And you said at the start of the show here, Mark, in Grand Junction, biggest rain event, 2-day rainstorm since 1941. In Pagosa Springs, this was our biggest rainstorm since 1955. Durango, biggest rainstorm since 1986. What we're not used to getting here in this part of Colorado, generally speaking here, folks, here's some of those numbers, but more generally, we're used to getting summertime monsoon storms. We're not used to 2, 3, 4 days, basically nonstop rain, and that's what we got thanks to the remnants of a hurricane. Hurricane Priscilla's remnants moving its way through Colorado over the last few days. Still flood watch up here for southwestern Colorado until tomorrow morning. That's for an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain. We've already picked up, I was just looking at some of the rain estimates here in Durango, Pagosa Springs, already picked up 3/4 of an inch of rain out here so far today, and we're still getting some more rain in some of those hard-hit areas right now. Futurecast, we'll get some rain. Snow levels will drop down to about past level. It will be slick if you're driving through the mountains tonight, so please keep that in mind. And then that rain will slowly dissipate. A few showers for us here in Denver, most of those mainly tonight. Tomorrow here in Denver, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, 72. Warmer tomorrow, and then we cool down at the end of the week after one more warm day on your Wednesday. Temperatures dropping into the 60s.
Chris, thank you. Denver city-run homeless shelters have seen their share of bad headlines this year and over the past couple of years. Homicides, drug overdoses, a lack of overall security. Now Denver could partner with a new group that promises to bring a luxury hotel experience to hotel shelters. Marshall Zellender takes a look at Urban Alchemy and their goal to turn the former DoubleTree into the Four Seasons.
It once had a national brand name on the side of the building. Now this Denver hotel turned shelter at 40th and Quebec is called a different tree, the Aspen. The city wants to replace the Salvation Army as the shelter's manager with a group called Urban Alchemy.
When we saw the opportunity in Denver to come here and provide our Four Seasons like shelter experience for the guests here, was something that was a big opportunity for us.
That's Urban Alchemy spokesperson Jess Montejano, comparing running a shelter to a high-end hotel.
Why make the comparison to a luxury hotel, though? Because no one's going to confuse a shelter with a luxury hotel.
I think we want to transform how people think about shelters overall. We want them to feel like they're at a wellness village. I think the traditional models of shelter are outdated in our views. People should feel like it's safe, it's clean, it's welcoming.
Early last year at the shelter, there were 2 homicides, several overdose deaths, and hundreds of 911 calls, leading the city to take over security from the Salvation Army. According to a presentation a city council committee will get tomorrow, the 3-year contract is for $30 million total, paid out on a performance-based agreement with Urban Alchemy taking over security. Urban Alchemy is based in San Francisco and has contracts in 6 cities. The city of Austin just ended its contract with the group at the end of September after Urban Alchemy self-reported that employees misrepresented data that tracks progress within the shelter. In Denver, Montejano said Urban Alchemy will hire employees with lived experience as being homeless themselves or formerly in prison.
We believe people that went through trauma and crisis themselves are best positioned to help serve and connect with people in trauma and crisis themselves.
What would be disqualifying in a background check?
We do extensive background checks. The only things that are disqualifying are sex-related crimes.
What is the training that those employees get?
Generally, it's 2 weeks of in the classroom training, everything from de-escalation to cultural competency to gender competency.
How is 2-week training enough to handle the type of population you might serve in a shelter?
I would say look at the success rates that we have. You know, for the shelters that we manage and operate, we're placing people in permanent housing exits far above, the national averages, in some places 30 and 40%.
2 other shelters, the one at 46th in Quebec, the former Best Western, St. Francis Center was picked by the city to run that one, and Bayard Enterprises is the group that's the pick for the Tamarack shelter taking over for Salvation Army. Council, however, Mark, still needs to approve these, and these new contracts shift from a reimbursement deal to performance-based, like show us the outcomes, you'll get paid.
And that's an interesting change because in the past it hasn't been performance-based. But important to note, Marshall, that these names come out, these businesses, these organizations that could indeed get these contracts. But again, city council has to approve it. It's not a done deal even close to you.
Right, you'll remember when city council took issue with having to back pay, I think it was Salvation Army at the time, for services that maybe some of the council members were like, whoa, how come you didn't come to us before those expenses were made? But this was in government parlance, it was an RFP, which means request for proposals. So contracts or applications came in, some people vetted them, and these are the finalists that now city council, I guess, could say no to, but it's city council's final approval to these solo finalists.
And we know that city council is at least hearing about All in Mile High tomorrow, so we'll keep an eye on that. Marshall, thank you. So the biggest story in the world today has a significant meaning here in Colorado. Hamas returned the last 20 living hostages to Israel today as President Trump and other world leaders signed a Gaza ceasefire deal in Egypt after over 2 years of war. It was an outcome that marchers in Boulder were fighting for when they were attacked earlier this year. Israel also released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and people detained during the war. Ceasefire is the first phase in a 20-point plan towards peace. Thousands of Palestinians are now making the trek back into northern Gaza, and hundreds of aid trucks are coming in. So back here in Colorado, there are feelings of joy and sadness that it took so long to get to this stage. In June, a man in Boulder attacked people with fire who were peacefully marching for the release of these hostages. 15 people were hurt in that attack, and 1 woman died.
We also feel the loss in Boulder of our own community member who was a mother and a grandmother and a wife. And so We're feeling all of those things together right now and trying to maintain that celebration of the reunited families. That is something really special.
The Boulder attack suspect remains in jail, charged with multiple counts in state and federal court. There are obviously a lot of things wrong in the world of politics these days, but the Littleton mayoral race is now enthralled in drama after a sneaky doorbell camera video was made public. It shows one of the candidates for mayor yanking an opponent's flyer off a door and replacing it with his own. Now he's apologizing, saying he shouldn't have done that. Here's the doorbell video showing City Council member Patrick Driscoll walking up to the door, placing his flyer, then turning back around and snatching a different one. One side of that flyer that he took promotes a list of progressive candidates, including his opponent, the current mayor of Littleton, Kyle Schlatter. The other side of the flyer was a measure opposing ballot measure 3A, which would prevent duplexes from being built in single-family neighborhoods there. The homeowner filed a complaint with the Secretary of State's office. Under Colorado law, it's illegal to remove election material from someone else's home. We reached out to Driscoll and asked him why he did it. We got a short and honest statement back. I shouldn't have removed it, and I apologize. Hey, we want to say a quick thank you for all that you've done this week to support low-income families and daycare providers in Adams County. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's Word of Thanks.
Thanks for being with Next while I'm away, and thank you for your continued generosity through your Word of Thanks microgiving campaigns, most recently raising nearly $35,000 to benefit the Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County, assisting low-income families and daycare providers in that part of town. $5 at a time, you've raised more than $16 million for nonprofits across Colorado. I'll be back with you tomorrow, and on Wednesday, I'll have a new idea of what we can do together to help someone in our community. Send ideas my way, next at 9news.com. See you soon.
Still ahead, she got hurt fighting for our country and found a new passion and community in Denver. The gold medals that come with it are just a bonus.
We're always real supportive of our kids, so whatever they want to do, we stand behind it.
The kids aren't kids anymore, but their support hasn't changed, even if it means giving up their garage for a month. That's next. A disabled veteran from Denver found a new purpose in an unlikely place, perhaps. You don't meet a lot of fencers. You meet even fewer who've won 2 gold medals after being medically discharged from the Marine Corps.
So we're here at the Denver Fencing Center, where I work and I train as a para-fencer. I'm a disabled veteran. Marine Corps retired, medically retired. I enlisted in 2005. I was medically retired in 2008, and that sent my life into a spiral. And that's where adaptive sports and the recreational therapy programs through the VA did help. They handed me a sword, and like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they're like, stab people. I was like, oh, really? And so that was my introduction to the sport, getting to try to stab someone and not get in trouble. And it really clicked with me. All right. Because it's not just the getting to stab people, it's the community.
Ready, fence.
It's the fencing center, it's my team.
I've been parafencing for a long time, 30 plus years.
Scott Rogers, Dr. Scott Rogers, he is actually the last U.S. parafencer to medal. One of the only people who figured out how to speak my language to actually get me to learn the basics of fencing so I could get where I'm at.
I'm not sure I spoke her language. I had to figure it out. She wanted to go out there and stab you and hit you hard. And fencing is about more than just stabbing somebody. It's really, there's a lot of finesse, and I am very much a finesse fencer. So I was trying to teach Jay some of those things, and so we started training together.
So he had to dumb it down for me. The smartest person in the room figured out how to speak dumb enough for me to remember something.
I know as somebody with a disability, you go through that phase of what do I have to contribute to the world, right? You have that part of you that feels like you're broken, and that you don't have anything to contribute.
Ready, fence.
I think parasports, being active, gives you an outlet to be part of a community.
It's more than just an enjoyment at this point. Parafencing has become a passion, something that I don't think I could ever live without. They're all low. My grip.
Very cool. Well, it's easy to grow apart from your parents as you get older, but a pair of siblings found a way to keep the family together. Every October, that's next. Haunted houses have taken on a bit of a commercial feel over the years. High tech and high prices seem to be the norm nowadays. Not all of them, though. Our Ann Herbst takes us to a home in Denver where a family spends all of fall scaring their neighbors for free.
The Norman Rockwell quaintness of a homemade haunted house.
Yeah, good luck.
Creeps into kids' imaginations and homes when autumn calls. What's going down in the Jaramillo's yard and garage in Denver
Good luck.
isn't like the others.
Basically just a gory, gross fountain.
The scares aren't different. It's who's doing the scaring.
This is all in my parents' garage. So.
Notice Josh isn't a child.
It's pretty crazy.
He's old enough to have his own house.
I do this at my parents' house. Our house isn't that well set up for it. That's the excuse I use at least.
When I'm in the haunted house,
Sister Alexis,
I'm a completely different monster.
She's a grown-up too. They are technically somebody's kids.
Yeah, Joshua's our oldest, Alexis is the second. So we are mom and dad.
Dave and Anna's adult children have been hijacking their parents' garage and entertaining thousands for free.
Yeah, it was good.
For 11 Halloweens at Horror Theater Haunted House.
It's a 2-car oversized, so not too big.
Well, unfortunately, my car has to sit outside in the driveway.
Mom and Dad have found additional ways to contribute.
Severed head Christmas topper and intestines used as garland, and all the intestines are all handmade by me.
Just looking at all the pictures throughout the years.
Scares are in Josh's blood.
Yeah, dressed up as Frankenstein.
So he made sure his future wife Megan was aware of it on date 1.
I knew that he was into Halloween, but
Yeah, I told her I was gonna be picking up a autopsy body, so.
I didn't know that it was this crazy. We've been together for, I don't know, a decade.
When Alexis met Alex, the haunted garage was part of the deal.
It makes me happy to be a part of it.
Just like anything where you kind of want to ask why, there's a reason.
I got into a really bad car accident. Thought that I really needed to figure out what I needed to do with this life to make it all worth it, because I almost died. So.
This is what he lives for. He loves this stuff. I think it really brought him back to life.
You guys like it?
Awesome.
Oh, hey.
Can't believe you guys packed that much in such a small space.
Like most family businesses, this one's built on pride.
91 people right now, and it's 7:30, yeah.
I believe we have a 4.9 rating on Google, and it's all due to the kids and their creativity. And
Just hanging out with my family, kind of coming up with crazy ideas.
so I enjoy that because what kids like to hang around their parents when they're older.
I don't think most people get this in their adult life.
They give me more space and time than I probably deserve, but.
Hey, make it useful. Instead of keeping the car in there.
A garage full of gore can't break the Jaramillo's bond. This family sticks together through the fun
Good luck.
and scary times.
Now that is making the most of your parents' garage. We're back with their feedback next. Quick feedback tonight. Emily says, Mark, I just thought I'd tell you you're doing such a great job on Next. That's so sweet of you, Emily. And I promise that's not even from my mom. Kyle's back tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Good night.